BTS Toronto concerts, a massive crowd beyond the stadium. There was supposed to be a simple question surrounding BTS's Toronto concerts: how many people would actually show up? But as August 22nd approaches, that question is becoming much bigger. BTS is set to bring its AI-ranging world tour to Rogers Stadium in Toronto for 2 consecutive nights, August 27 and 23rd. Official ticket listings confirm the 2 performances, but the conversation surrounding the concerts has already moved beyond the number of tickets sold. Reports and fan discussions have suggested that the overall crowd connected to the event could be far larger than the number of people sitting inside the venue. And that is where things get interesting. When tens of thousands of fans gather for the same artist, the concert doesn't simply stay inside the stadium. The surrounding streets, transportation network, restaurants, merchandise areas, and public spaces can all become part of the experience. Welcome to Jimintober, your daily dose of Jimin, BTS, and everything you need to know. Let's get started. Toronto is about to find out exactly what that looks like when BTS arrives. Rogers Stadium is not a conventional indoor arena hidden inside a dense downtown district. It is an outdoor concert venue located at the former Downsview Airport site, giving the event a very different atmosphere from a traditional stadium show. That difference matters. An outdoor venue can create a much wider sense of space, but it also changes how people move, wait, enter, and experience the performance. And with BTS bringing 2 major shows to Toronto, every one of those details suddenly becomes important. The official listings placed the concerts on August 22nd and August 23rd, meaning fans won't be dealing with just one massive event. There will be 2 nights, 2 waves of arrivals, 2 departures, and potentially 2 enormous concentrations of army moving through the same part of the city. That alone makes Toronto one of the most fascinating stops on this portion of the tour. But there is another number that has caught attention. Some reports and online discussions have circulated estimates suggesting that the broader crowd surrounding the concerts could reach more than 100,000 people on a show day. That number needs an important qualification. It should not be confused with the official number of tickets sold or confirmed attendance inside Rogers Stadium. There is a difference between documented ticket capacity and estimates about people who may gather outside the venue. Still, the claim has become part of the conversation because of the unique setup of the venue. Imagine arriving in the area expecting to see a normal concert crowd. Instead, you begin seeing fans everywhere. Some are holding BTS light sticks. Others are wearing merchandise. Some are waiting for friends, while others may simply be hoping to experience the atmosphere outside the venue without entering the stadium. That is how a concert can become much larger than the seating chart suggests. And BTS has already shown that its concerts can create enormous fan gatherings far beyond the actual performance space. For ARMY, the concert experience often begins hours before the first song. Fans travel long distances. They meet people they have only known online. They exchange banners. They search for merchandise. They take photos. They wait together. Eventually, the area surrounding the venue can feel like a separate event of its own. Toronto is especially interesting because of the size and diversity of the city. This isn't simply a small market where thousands of fans arrive from one nearby neighborhood. People can come from across Ontario, from other parts of Canada, and potentially from outside the country. For international fans, a BTS concert can become an entire trip rather than a single evening. That means the impact of the event can begin long before the stadium gates open. Hotels can fill. Restaurants can become busy. Public transportation can experience heavier demand. Nearby businesses can suddenly find themselves surrounded by people wearing the same colors and carrying the same light sticks. That is why the story surrounding Rogers Stadium isn't really just about the stage. It's about everything that happens around it. And this is where the venue itself becomes important. Rogers Stadium is designed as an outdoor concert environment, creating opportunities that a traditional enclosed arena doesn't have. There is more open space, different sight lines, and outdoor areas where fans can wait and move around. But those advantages also mean preparation becomes essential. Fans need to think about transportation. They need to understand entrance procedures. They need to know the bag policy. They need to prepare for the weather. And perhaps most importantly, they need to be ready for a very long day. Because waiting for BTS is not necessarily a short process. By the time BTS actually appears on stage, some fans may have already spent most of the day inside the concert environment. That is why the venue's facilities matter. Information released around the event has highlighted areas for food, drinks, merchandise, and places where fans can take a break. There are also water stations, which become especially important during a large outdoor event. Hydration may sound like a small detail compared with a BTS performance, but on a day when thousands of people are standing and moving for hours, it can make a huge difference. The same goes for shade. An outdoor concert can be exciting, but waiting under direct sunlight for long periods is a completely different experience. Having places where fans can step away, cool down, eat, and recharge can turn a stressful wait into a much more manageable one. And then there is the merchandise. For many ARMY, buying official merchandise is almost part of the concert ritual. The venue has information about merchandise areas, giving fans opportunities to shop before the show. But anyone who has attended a major BTS event knows what that can mean. Long lines. Crowded walkways. Fans comparing what they bought. People searching for the one item they absolutely cannot leave without. Sometimes merchandise becomes another reason for fans to arrive much earlier than expected. Then comes the question of transportation. For an event of this scale, driving directly to the venue may not always be the easiest option. Public transportation can become one of the most practical ways to reach the area, particularly when large numbers of people are arriving within the same time period. The venue's location near transit options gives fans several ways to approach the area. But the real challenge comes after the concert. Tens of thousands of people may leave around the same time. That means the trip home becomes part of the event. Stations can become crowded. Roads can slow down. People who normally expect a quick journey may suddenly find themselves waiting with thousands of other concertgoers. And this is exactly why large concerts require preparation from more than just the artists and venue. The city itself becomes involved. Transportation systems have to handle increased demand. Security teams have to manage crowds. Nearby businesses have to deal with an unusual surge of customers. And fans have to make decisions about when and how they move. This is also why some of the more dramatic claims surrounding the Toronto concerts need to be viewed carefully. When fans see huge crowds online, it can be tempting to immediately attach an enormous number to the scene. But a photograph of a crowded area doesn't automatically tell us how many people are there. Someone watching from outside the venue is not the same as someone holding a concert ticket. And someone traveling to the area is not necessarily attending the concert. So, the most responsible way to describe the 100,000 figure is as an estimate or circulating claim about the broader event atmosphere, not as a confirmed attendance number. But even without that number, the scale is already significant. 2 major nights at a large outdoor venue are enough to create a huge concentration of fans, and the timing makes the Toronto shows even more interesting. BTS arrives in Toronto after performances in Arlington, Texas, continuing the North American portion of the AI Ranging World Tour. For fans following the tour from city to city, every stop has its own personality. Arlington had its own atmosphere. Toronto now gets its turn. And Toronto isn't simply another name on the schedule. The city has a massive international population, a strong music culture, and an enormous community of K-pop fans. That combination creates the perfect environment for a BTS event to become a major cultural moment. There's also something visually powerful about an outdoor BTS concert. Thousands of light sticks spread through an open venue can create an entirely different image from a traditional indoor arena. The audience becomes part of the spectacle. When the lights go down and the crowd begins reacting to the first notes, the entire space changes. And because Rogers Stadium is outdoors, the atmosphere isn't confined in exactly the same way. Sound, lights, movement, and crowd energy become part of a much larger environment. That is what fans are waiting to experience. But there is one more reason Toronto could become a memorable chapter in this tour. BTS concerts are no longer just about watching 7 performers on a stage. They have become gathering points for an international fan community. People who may have never met before can spend an entire day together. They exchange stories. They help each other. They trade photo cards. They take pictures.